I was born Cassius Clay, and I lived a life in Louisville, Kentucky that was very different from the life that a child should live. I grew up in a time when being black was a burden and survival was a battle. I lived in a world that warned me, "Cassius, don't dream. Black kids don't dream." But I was always different. I had dreams. I wanted to be big. I wanted to be somebody that everybody would talk about. When I stepped into the boxing ring for the first time, I wasn't just fighting against my opponents. I was fighting against the world. When I was throwing punches in that ring, I always thought, this is not just a fight, this is my fight for survival. And I won that fight. The world recognized me. The world applauded me. But there was a void inside me. The sound of that applause could not break the silence inside me. One day, I came across a book that changed my life. This book was about Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam movement. Malcolm's words rang in my brain. Know yourself. Know who you are. Know your own worth. At that moment, I asked myself, who am I, Cassius Clay? Or am I a child bearing the names of slaves? When I met Malcolm X for the first time, I saw something deep in his eyes, his confidence, his unshakable faith in himself. He said to me, "You can be a leader. God has chosen you for this." It was the first time someone told me that a force outside of me had chosen me. The idea that God had chosen me penetrated deep into my soul. I thought about it for a while. I struggled with it, because it was different from anything I had ever heard. Then one morning, the day before my championship, I stood in front of the mirror and asked myself, for whom do you want this victory? So that your name goes down in history? Or do you want to send a message with this victory? That night I prayed to God for the first time, just to guide me. And the next day, when I beat Sonny Liston and became world champion, I felt in the center of the ring. It wasn't my punches that got me here, it was my faith that got me here. A few weeks after the title fight, I heard my new name that Elijah Muhammad had given me, Muhammad Ali. When I heard that name for the first time, my heart trembled. Cassius Clay was the chain of my past. Muhammad Ali was the name of my freedom. I was no longer just a boxer. With my name, my faith, and my fight, I started to give people a message. God has made you strong. Know yourself, and do not lose faith. But this path was not easy. Many people who supported me when I converted to Islam turned away, even those closest to me. "Cassius, you're crazy. These people are deceiving you," they said. But their criticism did not shake my heart, because now I had found myself. In the face of that criticism, I always remembered this verse, God is with the patient. Eventually I left the Nation of Islam and began to learn the true Islam. I cannot tell you the peace I feel when I pray, when I put my forehead on the ground. It was a victory greater than victory. It was more meaningful than wealth and fame. For the first time, when I surrendered to Allah, I felt truly free. I have fought many battles in my life, but my greatest victory was finding Allah and living my life as a Muslim. It was not my fists that made me strong. It was my faith in Allah that made me strong, and I carried that faith until I died without losing it.